It has been 6 weeks since I have put pen to paper, thanks to this little one. So I thought, what better way to get the creative juices flowing than to do my first ever life drawing class. However, the catch was that I've got to bring the baby with me because they are breastfed and they are 5 weeks old and they won't take a bottle and they won't take a dummy. So I've just thought I'd casually send an email to see if the people that host a life drawing would mind if I bought a baby. And honestly, I thought they were going to say, "Are you mental?" But they said, "Yeah, no, bring them along." And if you've never been on the London Underground, it is like a can of sardines. You are so packed in there. It's not fun with a pram, I'll tell you that. I literally bulldozed my way in to the train. The session I went to had a male model and had a tutor and was 2 hours long. And I'm a complete beginner at life drawing, just so you know. So they're pretty shocking. But I did learn a lot, actually, even just from that 1 2 hour session. So yeah, let's dive right in. This is the sketchbook I took with me. It is a pink pig one, A3 cartridge paper, 25 sheets, and it's cream, so it's off colour, it's not a white one. I did actually take this A3 newsprint with me to use as loose sheets, but I didn't end up using it because when you have a 5-week-old in a sling, it just wasn't convenient, but I hope to use that in the future. So let's take a look at the sketches from my first ever life drawing class. So to begin with, it's upside down. Yeah, honestly, that's the least of my issues at this point. I don't even know how I did this. Like, I must have just opened it and yeah, I don't know how I did this. But anyway, so let's flip it the annoying way around. Do you know what? That's forever going to irritate me, but it's fine. And you know what? I'm not going to be able to have some upside down, so I'm going to have to do the whole book backwards now. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but anyway, set a theme. So when I got there, I felt totally overwhelmed and didn't know where to begin drawing. Like, I had this model in front of me and I was actually sat pretty close because where I had the baby with me and the pram, they sat me right near the door. So I literally had the model right in front of me. I had a great view and I just didn't know where to begin. And this was really quick poses. I think this was like 1 minute or 2 minutes. So I just tried sort of boxing out the torso and the pelvis, and I got one leg in there. But okay, what are we even talking about? I drew a stick man, right? Okay, I drew a stick man. I tried to get some gestural poses going. But yeah, I was after that drawing, I was like, why am I here? I don't know how to do life drawing. Moving on. She did an exercise where she said, don't take your pen off the paper, or in this case, pencil. I was using, I think, carbon pencil here. It might have been a charcoal pencil, I'm not sure now. I tried a few. So yeah, so this was just one continuous line, and I kind of have a body shape. But again, pretty shocking. I mean, look at this claw. Look at that claw. I mean, look at that bum. Where is the other half of the bum? So yeah, moving on swiftly. Again, these were really short poses and I just didn't know where to begin. Like this one, okay, right, these are stick men, right? But I think you can see here that this was the leg holding most of his weight. He was holding this leg with an arm. This is a giant chest. He had an arm in the air, so you can kind of see the pose was there, but there's just no outline. There's just, honestly, I didn't know what to do. Didn't know what I was doing. I really should have practiced a bit more. The only stuff I've practiced is kind of at home. This is the kind of stuff I've done before, which is like drawing out the shape and the outline, and there's some stick figures and obviously you've got your models, and yeah, so I haven't really properly, oh look what I've done. I haven't properly practiced life drawing really. How do I fix this? Okay. That's fixed. So, yeah, anyway, back to it. These were short poses. They were maybe, I think they were 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So very, very short. So again, here I tried to kind of block out the main body. I tried to sort of get the pelvis in, and the legs and the ribs. It's not great, is it? I mean, look at these lines for hands. I don't know what I was doing. So the tutor actually came around and sort of spoke to me. I think at this point, when she saw this, when she saw this cube about 2 minutes into a 3-minute drawing, she gave me a bit of advice. This is her scribble, actually. She said sort of loosen up, basically, because apparently this is tight. This is some tight drawing here. So I actually came back and drew on this page after that before getting to these. So this was my first attempt at kind of loosening up. So you see the lines are a lot more sketchy. I mean, was he laying on the floor? I think he was laying on the floor, but it kind of looks like he was laying across a chair or something here. But yeah, this is some sort of weird perspective. But yeah, but I think that's an improvement from that, right? I think it is anyway. Sorry, I'm waffling. So then we moved on to this, and this is where I think I started to improve. These were slightly longer. I think these were 5 minutes. It might even be 10. Please don't tell me this is a 10-minute drawing. But you can see here I tried to get like a gestural line, like the flow of the body, and then I kind of tried to draw something for the shoulders and the ribs and the leg. And look, I've got a sausage for a leg. Yeah, it's bad. I really need to do some practice before I go to my next one. Got the arms in this time, some hand paddles, the leg, this kind of looks like it's sort of foreshortened in the right direction, but this is a bit, I don't know. So this was like a 5-minute drawing. This was another I think it's a 5-minute drawing. Again, I was trying to just actually outline the figure. I didn't even bother with sort of boxes here. I just tried to straight up draw what I see, or draw what I saw, apart from this claw hand again. It's just a paddle hand and a claw hand. There's a couple feet in there. I think this leg I didn't finish. So I didn't finish a lot of these just because I was really hesitant to actually put the pen to paper. So then we moved on to, I think these were slightly longer drawings. I think these were like 6 minutes. It kind of went up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Again here, this is actually the hands. So he had his hands like wrapped around his body, but I swapped to using charcoal here, but I realised very quickly that it was very messy. It got all over me. I got it all over my son because he was breastfeeding at the time. So I abandoned the charcoal pretty quickly and just thought I can't be holding a baby and doing charcoal. But I feel like you kind of get a feeling for the position the person was in. And then this is where I think, okay, I started to improve a little bit. I'd kind of got into the flow of things, and so here the model was leaning against a wall, so I had a really good view, and I'm actually quite happy with that one. I don't think that one's too horrendous. I think this was longer. I'm sure this was 10 minutes. It might have even been 15. But I'm quite happy that you can kind of see the angle of the foot here. I feel like my proportions are not horrendous. I feel like the legs are long enough and the body is long enough. I tried to kind of use landmarks, so like the nipple in line with the shoulder. I could see on that model anyway, and the head. I didn't really know what I was doing with the head, to be honest. But I feel like I started to get a little bit more confident here before we moved on to this pose. Again, you can see I was kind of all the same sort of side on angle from where I was positioned. I will be honest, I think I was at quite a funny angle to be viewing the model for a lot of these poses. I think sort of head on it would have been a bit easier, so maybe next time I go I might ask to sort of face to be more at the front of the class rather than the side of the class, especially being like a proper beginner. But with this one, I think I kind of like the rib cage. I feel like I really got the shape of sort of the chest, the rib cage, the neck, the head. I tried to sort of get in proportion to the body. Maybe it's a little big, I'm not sure. But the leg I know is definitely too short. Or it's weird because I feel like I knew what I wanted to draw because of the angle. I kind of wanted it because this was going away from me, if that makes sense. But I couldn't quite figure out how to portray that. So yeah, don't mind the top half, but overall, as a whole, it just is a bit alien-like. And the arm I never even finished. I drew one arm in and I was like, no, that's not right. Yeah, again, like this, the arm was kind of pointing away from me, so I just rubbed it out and just thought I'll just focus on other stuff. But yeah, then before I knew it, time was over. So then we move on to my final sketch, which is this one here, which I'm actually quite happy with. Thankfully, he was actually posed facing me more than he was for all of the other poses he was in. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with this one. This was a 20 minutes. This was, the last and longest sketch. He was just sat on a pillow with a blanket underneath him, which I even managed to sketch in quickly. I actually tried with those shapes, which you can see here. You can kind of see the shape, which I very lightly did underneath. So drawing this kind of rough shape for the torso, I used that for the rest of the proportions. And I actually tried to be a bit quicker. So you can see here, I lightly tried to quickly sketch in the arm, sketch in a rough position of the legs, and even sketch in the head, rather than the other ones where I sort of did them more separately. I tried to sort of get an overview of it and then kind of refined it. You can see there's a lot more rubbing out here. Only these two drawings did I actually get out the rubber and start rubbing stuff out, because it occurred to me that I can change stuff with the magic of an eraser. So yeah, this is my last one, and I'm actually quite happy with this, apart from the weird shaped head. Yeah, you can see this is sort of where his eyes were. His nose is meant to be here, the ears, but it's very long. It's a very odd shape. That was the last thing I did. I was quite rushed. I was just trying to get the head on there, because otherwise it just looked like, I chopped off his head. And that is the last sketch that I did before making my way home on the very hot and busy underground. So yeah, that is my beginner sketches in my first ever life drawing class, and actually I loved it. I'll be honest, I felt totally overwhelmed to begin with when I walked in and sat down and looked at that blank page and thought, what am I even doing? I've got no idea. It just, everything seemed to fall out of my brain, the stuff I'd read. That's really going to annoy me. So I really think if you're interested in life drawing, give it a go. See if there's a class near you. You might enjoy it. Try something new. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one.